Good morning. It's Tuesday and it's time for our daily devotion. We are starting a period of time, 4 weeks in the book of Colossians. We started with our readings yesterday, and this first week, each week is a different chapter. There's 4 chapters in this letter. The letter was written by Paul to the followers of Jesus in the city of Colossae. And we don't know, or I don't know anything about what the back and forth may have been. Paul gives a little bit of information here in the beginning, and we know that Paul didn't plant the church there. He's not the one who brought Jesus to the city, but he names the person who does, and he's heard some good things, and he is confident that they are growing in faith and love and hope and truth, and so he's telling them all of this in this introduction. And here we have sort of a middle piece of the introduction, verses 9 through 14 of chapter 1. Paul writes, "For this reason, since the day we heard about you, we have not stopped praying for you. We continually ask God to fill you with the knowledge of his will through all the wisdom and understanding that the Spirit gives, so that you may live a life worthy of the Lord and please him in every way, bearing fruit in every good work, growing in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to his glorious might, so that you may have great endurance and patience, and giving joyful thanks to the Father, who has qualified you," that's an interesting word choice, "who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of his holy people in the kingdom of light. For God has rescued us from the dominion of darkness and brought us into the kingdom of the Son he loves, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins." This is a very compressed package that deserves to be unpacked and exploded out. And if we did that, we have pretty much the whole of the New Testament anyway, and a little bit before. But what we see here is sort of here's what I'm going to be talking about for the next page or two in this letter, or on down the scroll, or whatever it was written on. And so as we look at this, we can just kind of line up. I tried to read it as a list, right? The list part. We can kind of line up so here's the points that Paul is making, and we'll be hearing about them as the letter moves on. The song I have today is "God of Grace and God of Glory." It's a good old song, and I'll just sing it. God of grace and God of glory, on thy people pour thy power. Crown thine ancient church's story, bring its bud to glorious flower. Grant us wisdom, grant us courage, for the facing of this hour. For the facing of this hour. Lo, the hosts of evil round us scorn thy Christ, assail his ways. From the fears that long have bound us, free our hearts to faithful praise. Grant us wisdom, grant us courage, for the living of these days. For the living of these days. Cure thy children's warring madness, bend our pride to thy control. Shame our wanton selfish gladness, rich in things and poor in soul. Grant us wisdom, grant us courage, lest we miss thy kingdom's goal. Lest we miss thy kingdom's goal. Save us from weak resignation to the evils we deplore. Let the search, that really is a difference in singing it right. To the evils we deplore. Let the search for thy salvation be our glory evermore. Grant us wisdom, grant us courage, serving thee whom we adore, serving thee whom we adore.